About Campaign 2020, we're just an hour away from the start of the Democratic National Convention, where the party hopes to rally support behind presidential candidate Joe Biden and, of course, his VP pick, California Senator Kamala Harris. Today, I spoke with CBS News political correspondent Ed O'Keefe about what we can expect to see this week. Well, it's certainly a very different kind of convention. How will party leaders keep some of that energy going? They don't have everybody packed into the room. There's no cheering. There's no wearing of the wild hats, no balloons dropping.
It's a good question, Alan. I think it's going to be really difficult for some of these speakers who have grown accustomed through their years or decades of service to speaking to a large basketball arena's worth of people at this kind of an event. Instead, they've got to do it essentially to a camera the way you and I are doing it with no crowd around. One of the ways that Democrats say they'll do this is in some cases you'll see certain speakers speaking in facilities that allow them to bring in virtual fans, very similar to what the NBA is doing with its games down in Orlando right now. In other ways, some of these speeches will be held live in certain landmark locations across the country. Others, like that from First Lady Michelle Obama, were pre-taped and have been prepared and produced in a slightly slicker fashion to try to keep people's eyes on the presentation.
Well, as far as Bernie Sanders, is part of his job really to rally the progressives who aren't all that enthusiastic about the Biden-Harris ticket?
Who may not be enthusiastic about Biden, let alone Kamala Harris, because there is some suggestion that a lot of his supporters didn't think she was sufficiently progressive enough to be on the ticket. So yes, he's getting at least 8 minutes tonight, which for Bernie Sanders is actually not a lot of time, to talk about why he thinks that Biden is the better alternative. He's expected, we're told, to focus on the fact that the president needs to be defeated and then give some sense of a synopsis of why it is he now supports Biden. If he can do it in 8 minutes and try to end some of the skepticism of many of his supporters, he will have delivered a big bit of favor to Joe Biden.
You touched on some of the themes. Any other themes we should be looking for tonight and the rest of the week?
Well, Democrats say tonight at least they're focusing on the three main topics of concern to many Americans right now. The pandemic, of course, and how the president and the Trump administration have responded to it. The ongoing economic downturn and what Democrats would do to turn things around should they win control of the White House. And then the ongoing national reckoning over race and policing in this country. Obviously a big concern to a lot of people across the country, but a nod as well to minority voters and younger voters who've been really motivated and concerned about that justifiably in the last several months, all designed to show that they get it and that they want to do something about it should Democrats take back control of the White House.
Well, President Trump is launching counter-programming throughout the week. He's on a campaign swing himself. The president rallied a group of supporters in Minnesota today, ahead of his visits to Arizona and Pennsylvania this week.
As president, my goal to restore safety to our streets. The Democrats are promising to elevate their left-wing war on cops and to bring it up to the White House in the form of Sleepy Joe Biden.
Tonight's headliners at the DNC are Senator Bernie Sanders and former First Lady Michelle Obama. CBS News will have coverage starting at 7 o'clock. That is followed by CBS Monday primetime shows, then a special edition of KPIX 5 News at 10 and our news at 11. And stick with KPIX 5 all week long for the latest on the DNC convention. For more coverage, you can head to KPIX.com.